Welcome back to Tipping Point. I'm your host, Kara McKinney. Chief Justice John Roberts is denying the plea of Peter Navarro to stay out of prison. The former Trump administration official and advisor is currently in the process of appealing his conviction on contempt of Congress charges. Despite that process being ongoing, he was forced to turn himself into custody today to serve 4 months. Here's Navarro today in Miami speaking to reporters in defiance of what great injustice is being done to him. Watch.
The judge who stripped me of the defenses fact-checked me on this. Before he got appointed to the bench by Barack Obama, he was what's called a bundler. You know what a bundler is? He bundled checks to give to the campaign of candidate Obama. And coincidentally, he winds up on the bench. Democrat, 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 Democrat. The final issue is I go to the appeals court. The appeals court to get simple release pending my appeal, which is the normal course, and it was given immediately to Stephen Bannon. No. The judge fights me on that.
Now, the original subpoena had been issued under former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi by the original January 6th committee, and Navarro had not complied because he believes that he is covered by executive privilege, which means that he felt duty and honor bound to not comply. During his January sentencing hearing, Navarro argued to the judge, quote, "When I received that congressional subpoena, I had an honest belief that the privilege had been invoked. I say alleged because for hundreds of years, this has not been a crime. And for 50 years, the Department of Justice has maintained the principle of absolute testimony immunity. And it was only with my case that somehow that has changed." And an executive privilege goes back to George Washington and his remarks to the Congress regarding the Jade Treaty. And he said very simply and clearly, succinctly, elegantly, that to write to the Congress, he said, "I cannot command you as members of Congress to come to be. You cannot command me to come to you," end quote. Joining us now to discuss is radio host and OAN contributor Andrea Kaye. Andrea, thanks for being here tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Great. So watching what Navarro had to say today and seeing what they've done to him for so many months now, years really even, one thought kept coming to my mind. What they're doing to him, it's so ugly, right?
Yeah, it's devastating to see him talk about how I'm going to go in there basically with my head held high. And I'm glad you used the word defiance because he is. They want him crumpled. They want him crying. They want him in tears. They want him in a heap because this is about making an example of him. And he's right in some other remarks that he made about wanting to send a chill to all Americans and not even chill to every American. And that includes some people are thinking that this was an attack on separation of powers and executive privilege and that this will send a chill to future advisors of presidents, only Republican presidents. I say that this is also meant to put a chill up the spine of every American because if you're sitting back today, even as a Democrat, thinking, oh, yay, Trump's advisor, Peter Navarro, is going to jail. Don't think for a second that under this communist regime in the future that you won't be, is regardless of the fact that you're a useful idiot. Of course, that's what the term means to be a useful idiot. You'll be frog marched as well, and you will do time in prison if you dare to say anything that goes against the state.
And that is so true. I think so many of them forget that so many of these liberals, right? I have mentioned it before, but I think it bears pointing out that during the 2020 Democrat primary, you had Senator Bernie Sanders, and there's Project Veritas videos, right, that came out. And there was one of Sanders, he was some kind of an aide or working in the campaign, and he was talking about how liberals, because this guy was like full left-wing commie type, and he says the liberals, basically, like you said, the useful idiots who clap like little seals when the commies do their takeover, he said they're getting the wall first. It's not like there was any love lost, there. And these liberals who just happily allow the extreme fringe of their own party to just be ushered into power, they honestly, either they don't know or they do know and don't care what kind of evil that they are unleashing. When we talk about history, it doesn't exactly repeat itself, but it definitely does rhyme. And I don't want to find out any more about what that rhyming is going to entail for us, because what we've seen thus far is very, very concerning. And also, do you think that part of what the DOJ chill here, like you said, part of it is to try and fracture any loyalty to President Trump, because we've seen that, right? That it's trying to divide and conquer the right.